Warning, the following video contains opinions not based on fact. If this disturbs, alarms, or frightens you, turn away now. Otherwise,
enjoy the video. To kick off the Afterbirth Plus countdown fever, I couldn't think of a better list to start with. Afterbirth Plus has improved and gotten a ton better since release, but these 10 items sadly have not. While I know you're looking forward to my 10 best items, that's for next time. This time, we'll be counting down what I believe to be the top 10 worst new items in Afterbirth Plus. I'll start off a bit unusual with an item that I definitely see the potential for. King Baby has several great uses that are very apparent on finding out what he does. He causes all of your other following familiars to follow him instead. While Isaac is firing, he and all others stop and stay still. Again, I can see the potential here with certain builds, but it's just uninteresting and a little lackluster for a new familiar. The idea is neat though, so kudos. The Dead Tooth is an item that surrounds Isaac in a poisonous gas cloud while firing tears. I'm sure you can sense the pattern here. The aura is great for charging down weaker foes and for getting a quick poison effect on an enemy. To many it seems just like a better, less dangerous virus. However, my rebuttal is that the virus at least contributes to Spun and gives Blackheart since Afterbirth. Dead Tooth sadly is just a cool item that I find too situational to be left off the list. Pokey Ghost. Pokey Ghost summons a charmed foes occasionally. Can we just pause for 1 second here? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I tried so hard to like it. The Pokemon Go challenge or the Pokemon's challenge was really cool. It was neat. It was fun. I really did. But good God, I cannot enjoy the charm effect. We've been down this road too many times. Moving on. Depression is quite depressing. Okay, that was lame. Look, you knew the joke was coming. It's a really cool item that falls short of greatness by being a little forgettable. Its occasional shot of holy light when contacting an enemy is pretty cool and it leaves damaging tear creep. But it's due to these excellent reasons why it just doesn't fall any lower onto the list. Speaking of, Bloodshot Eye is a weak orbital. It does the same amount of damage as Forever Alone, but it also shoots out smaller, weaker shots from where it's facing in rotation. This eye does not naturally benefit from Guardian Angel, but I was able to work around it as you can see in the video. It does get altered pretty greatly by BFFs as you would imagine, and is still an orbital and worth taking, but compared to the other items added in Plus, it's just not a big seller. Brown Nugget is an active item that upon use spawns a stationary Pop-a-Fly familiar. This fly fires low damage tears at nearby enemies and does not last between rooms. I can't urge that enough. People have been getting misinformation. It does not last between rooms. While there are some unique synergies with it, the effort is typically not worth it. A fun item that sadly falls into its worse than what I'm carrying category. However, if you don't have anything, pick it up until something better comes along. Any DPS is usually worthwhile. Besides, if you can break the game pretty good with batteries, it can be humorous. Shade is one of the worst new Devil Deal items, and that says a lot because there's some pretty damn good ones added. I do appreciate that it's not terrible and can be used pretty well. I also understand that they needed to balance the devil pool with some less than desirable items, but it still isn't very good. 1 heart for a pretty weak contact familiar. He also suffers from the dreaded AI delay, a thing I'm not too fond of in my items. If he had a Meat Boy AI with just less damage, I could see it being a bit better. Mom's Razor is a status effect orbital. That alone makes it pretty untakeable to me. But to add on to that, it also doesn't block projectiles and, like the Bloodshot Eye, isn't affected by Guardian Angel. I love the fact that the contact damage scales with Isaac's damage, but bleed hasn't really sold me yet, and projectile blocking is, to me, about 90% of an orbital's usefulness and utility. Firstly, let me just say that I absolutely love this item. I think Data Miner could easily be one of the most fun active items in the entire game, but was just implemented wrong. It makes sense thematically that it's an unusual item with multiple positive and negative effects. On use, the sprites in the room turn up and to the right 90 degrees. No hitboxes are changed, making it very difficult in mob rooms. This also gives Isaac random tier effects for the whole room. The real kicker though is it raises and lowers a stat randomly, permanently. I really have to be honest here. Writing a worst 10 script is incredibly hard compared to a best list because I don't like talking negatively about items, especially if they're items that I see potential in. Because every item can be good and has potential to be useful. The Bean, Isaac's Heart, Lemon Mishap, all the traditional hated items in the past still have their uses, as do the first 9 items on this list. But then we get the tonsil. And this has got to be one item in all of Isaac's history that the team put in intentionally to troll. You can argue all day that there are other trolly items, but they have their uses aside from that. The tonsil is useless, so what is it? It's a trinket for starters that does nothing except take up the slot. It has a chance on taking damage to spawn a tonsil item familiar. This familiar is only able to be received by this or by Eden starts, leading it to be a very difficult completion grab for most players. And to finish it all off, the familiar tonsil blocks shots and does nothing else. It's a worse Guppy's Hairball, and that's pretty low. So there you have it, the items added in Afterbirth Plus that I find to either be the most disappointing or least useful. These items are not terrible by any means, but they sadly don't sit highly above the others. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below letting me know what your worst items are from the expansion. As always, subscribe to the channel to show your support for what I do, and until next time, my name is Pentahybrid, and I will catch you later.